Hey YouTube, Machismo Eugene, another video from Exit Strategy. Just recorded a video, 24 minutes of no sound, so I am very eager to do it over because there was something that was indispensable that I needed to share with you guys. I know I told you in times past that very soon I will intensify and press the gas pedal on some stuff that I think is going to be somewhat triggering, maybe abrasive, maybe a little imposing, but I'll let you guys decipher what you think and how you think about it. But this is in no ways meant to trigger, meant to traumatize or to re-traumatize anyone. This is just simply something that's been impressed upon my heart by God to continue to talk about. God gave me a big mouth, and I want to be able to use it appropriately in the way that He designed me to do it. And there's something that we've talked about called narcissistic personality disorder, but what we don't speak about is, and in borderline personality disorder too, but there is something that you won't hear openly spoken about in a lot of forums. Now, narcissists has got like this buzzword. Everybody and their grandmother is on YouTube in some way, shape, or another talking about narcissism. Do you know a lot of us, before the Johnny Depp trial ever took shape, and even some people missed that, with exception to that, a lot of us here were already on board with narcissism personality disorder. We had already awakened from that. Myself, Denzel Moss, and a lot of us, few others, Paula Narcon, a lot of us woke up around 2020, 2019, 2021, and are still waking up. But this is a buzzword. It's a hot button word. So people are using it like it's paper towels. They're throwing it around for one reason or another, and that's fine too. I'm not here to judge, but you won't find too many people talking about Munchausen syndrome by proxy. And this is something that I was meaning to do for a long time, and I believe purpose is in this. And this is the purpose that God has given to me in a newfound way, newfound understanding that this is something that I just can't be quiet about. I experienced this, I believe, by way of my twins' mom. I think and believe that she struggles with this. And this is what ails her on top of a lot of other things. And these elements of narcissism that are in many cases accompanied by the narcissism. You'll get an ADHD person with narcissism, and that's a double dose of danger. Narcissism trumping all of that, but you'll get a psycho or sociopath that is equally a narcissist, and that is just the Jeffrey Dahmer on steroids there. And so my thing is this: these people are very cunning. They fit in society just like you and I, and that is sort of like the way Munchausen syndrome plays into our society, unbeknownst to most of us. It happens around us in our own circles, and we undetected, simply because it's centered around sympathy. It's centered around attention as well as narcissistic personality disorder. And I was under my bed a couple weeks ago retrieving some papers, or just cleaning from under my bed, cleaning my bedroom up a little bit. And I reached under and discovered a big stack. And I think I've shown them on here, if I haven't, about this thick. And they're all the medical visits that my children had during the course of maybe 2 or 3 years. This is when they were very young, little babies. And so I had privilege, one of few privileges that was granted to me by these courts, to be able to have full access to all the medical records, and I took full advantage of that on a hunch, because all the illnesses that my children were having mysteriously when they were on the mother's watch. Many times I would go to pick my children up on my 1 or 2 days I had, meaning 10%, maybe even 15% of parenting time. That's all I had. And I would go to retrieve them and to come back empty-handed because the state police or somebody would tell me the mother refuses to give them up because they're sick, refuses to give them up because your license are suspended, and I'm wondering, how did you know my license is suspended? This individual is working overtime, and this is what people with Munchausen syndrome do. They insulate themselves by leveraging fictitious statements against the person. In most cases, who's level-headed and has a very good intuition that the bullshit is happening. So this is to throw you off their trail, to discombobulate you. Almost like trying to punch you while you're in your sleep, or while you're not watching them, hitting you from behind, hitting you from the side. The fictitious vindictiveness of this individual lasted for many, many years. And I'll be going to court here in a week or so on something very petty. She's asking for custody of the children again, which she lost, based on the fact that she takes them to the doctor. She does all the doctor's visits and the dentist visits. Anything medically, she's emphasizing that she is the one. She's on deck, all hands on deck. But little does she know, and I don't say this out of a concern for whether her getting custody is an issue or not. That's not where I'm coming from. I'm coming from this because this is a personal story of mine that I want to extend to you guys, because right now some of you guys are probably going through this, and I want to help you unpack it and know how to exit this. So the whole premise is that she's taking them to the doctor. She's on point for this, and in doing so, she doesn't know she's been allowed to by way of me deliberately. And this is kind of letting the fish grab the hook and run with it. One thing I've learned a long time ago is how to be a tactician, and I always dote on the movie Law Abiding Citizen. If you haven't seen that movie, go see it. Short of all the killing, you got to see the very methodical way that this guy thinks to bring about justice and the karma and cause and effect. And I think you'll appreciate the movie. If you don't let your emotions run away with you, you will almost rally for him, even though he dies in the movie. And that's not a spoiler, but it just is what it is. And Daddy's little girl, Israel Arbor. I saw that years ago, and when I saw it, it was after I had gone through, or even I think during, I was going through this stuff. I think the movie's probably even made, I don't know when it was made, but I identified with it right away. And I would tell friends often or acquaintances, look, that's me. That's what I'm going through. And so we relate to these things as we see them on the big screen. But I'm here to tell you, I'm in the flesh, and I'm telling you that someone that's listening to me has gone through this, and you might have not known what you were going through. If you have a mother of your children, and you're a man, and women, this is no disrespect to you, but often Munchausen syndrome by proxy is, in most cases, I think there's been very few cases. It's probably like a 2% ratio, 98% ratio of females. This drastically affects females because they're the nurturers, from what I've read and researched. And men, we have always dismissed even the smallest things, let alone this right here. This is way over our head right here. And most guys, if not a lot of women who are outside looking into this, would not even detect that parent is deliberately causing pain and misery and illnesses towards the child that they've been entrusted to protect. And so this is a very cunning, deceitful, disturbed, demonic disorder as well. And so my whole premise on this video here is just to make you guys aware that you're not only dealing with a narcissist here, you're dealing with a narcissist in many cases that has more disorders intertwined inside of those. And I mentioned on the last video that didn't have any sound about autism and narcissism. I see a very close correlation there, and this is just my take on it. And and I'm going to say it because I've observed for the last few years that I feel that God allowed the narcissist, an autistic kid, as a curse, and He allowed an autistic kid for a non-narcissist as a blessing. Now find out where you fit at in that equation, and if you have a hard time wrestling with what I just said, how's an autistic kid to a non-narcissist a blessing? Well, I take that from a lot of the responses I've gotten from people just in general that are non-narcissists. They see their child as a blessing. Because most often they'll say, you know what, my child is healthy, my child is happy, and they're funny, they're witty, they don't want to be pitied, and they brought a new sense of worth to my life, because I now know that I can take the emphasis off of myself and put it on this child. That's why I say autism is a blessing to a non-narcissist, but a curse to a narcissist. For obvious reasons, narcissists are all about themselves. They're all self-absorbed, self-centered. And so don't come at me, guys, with the fact that I made that statement, because the empathy is there for people who have kids that have difficulties. But notwithstanding what I just said, this stuff is a mystery to us. We don't have to always understand everything we have to accept in life, but we do have to accept it as best we can. And the less we accept things for what they are, the more difficult life becomes. And certain things we don't have to accept. We kind of know the things we don't have to accept. We don't have to accept anyone else's atrocious behavior, especially when it directly impacts us, when it makes our life difficult. We don't have to accept that. But everybody has an opinion and a perspective on things, and if that opinion rents space in our head needlessly, then we have some work to do on ourselves. It will drive you ill quicker than anything you believe a narcissist can do to you if you just allow general opinions to just lie stagnant in your mind and you can't shake them, because in essence we can't control that other person's opinion, and that's what bothers us. And so I'm going to add layers to this video in the near future, because this is something that I need to unpack, and I need to bring awareness to this. This is my calling, and as long as I'm called to do this, I will. Narcissists and the disorder that they have is not going to go anywhere. Soon I'll continue to speak about that, but I'm going to unearth and unpack a lot of these other things by way of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, and the different things and dynamics that they have in the other disorder of narcissism. So just a whole bunch of things you can look for because of the experiences that I have both lived and experienced, because nothing is like living it. And there's someone who's actually going through this right now. And I hope you're listening to this video, because there's nothing more that I want from you than to be able to first understand what you're dealing with by way of another person that's manipulating and using the children as leverage. And in many cases, they don't even want the kids. They don't even care for the kids like you in a real way. This is to assert to you that you're not crazy. You're not making things up. You just have to be more and more attuned to what you see in the behavior that the person is demonstrating. And so you also have to educate yourself. So I encourage you guys, go and to research a little bit about Munchausen syndrome by proxy, because this is a very disturbed disorder, and it's happening right up under our noses. A lot of people work at the ARC, UCP, and these are entities that have been designed for disadvantaged kids, autism, Down syndrome, and different things like that, and adults. for them to have a better quality of life. Go there, do recreation, interact with other people like themselves, play games, you name it. They go out for rides, either to Walmart, the park. They take them in different stores and just let them have the experience of shopping and living like normal people do. And so what I have noticed and observed that a lot of these people rally around these positions. They want to garner these positions because it's a fashion statement. They want to get these dog tags or these name tags swinging around their neck so they can walk around after work or wherever and just demonstrate to people that they're in a capacity of helping people. In many cases, nothing could be farther from the truth. Just use your observation. Don't listen to what people say. Look at what they're doing, how they move, and you will undeniably conclude what I just said. In your neighborhood, you know some. And how these people get in, because the narcissist in them helps them manipulate and get through the system and over the hurdles and under the walls and through the strongholds that are supposed to be set up to vet these people so that these kind of people don't get in. But what kind of system is in place to ward off and ensure narcissists don't get hired? There is none. Because these entities are looking for what we perceive or what we want to call the obvious. No field work is done. All you got to do is just ask around as to how these people live and how they interact with their own children. But in that case, many will say, outside looking in, onlookers will say, oh, they nice, they good people. And many times this will be a narcissist validating another narcissist. Almost like a narcissist getting her references, all being narcissists themselves. They run impacts. Then the landlord calls the narcissist or calls the reference, just a random reference, and he gets, oh, okay, they good people, blah, 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 blah. And he doesn't even go any farther. He doesn't call another reference because that one spoke so highly of them. Plus, he probably doesn't even have the time to do it. So we need to go the extra mile. And really not an extra mile. We just really should not take anything at face value. That is what I would really say. Nothing is to be taken at face value anymore. If you're an awakened empath and been through a narcissistic abuse of a relationship of any kind, any capacity, you should never, from this day forward, take anything at face value, take anything for granted. And when a person oversells themselves, just like what I want to say, oversell the product, being them. When someone is overselling the product, they can't look you in the eye. They can't stay on the subject of what you're talking to them about. And they wander off. You ask them a straight question, they run around in circles and take you in different directions. They may look on your desk as you're interviewing and say, oh man, beautiful kids. And you'll, right way, pull on your heartstrings. Before you know it, you start talking about your family, forgetting that you're the interviewer. Now you're being interviewed. There's layers to this. There's layers to this, man. And there's levels to this. So I'll be coming back again, guys. I don't want to keep repeating the same thing. So I think you get the gist of where I'm going with all of this. So that's a new level of what we're going to be doing, what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to talk a lot about Munchausen syndrome by proxy, if not a few other intricate disorders that are centered around attention. So guys, hope you're enjoying your Sunday night, and I hope you wake up well rested tomorrow for the new endeavor God has for you. That being said, bless.